A chilly Melbourne summer's night, the bright lights of the Meadows shining on the grand final of the Australian Cup Carnival. What a night of racing ahead. We're about 7 races in. There's already a massive crowd in. So good to see the punters. Hello, I'm your host of the Thrill of the Chase, James Vandermaat, and what a night of racing we've got ahead. The Group 1 Fanta Bale Superstars, and for those who dare to dream, the Group 1 Tab Australian Cup. It is a race that will change the lives of those connected to the greyhound that becomes victorious and is the 2021 Australian Cup champion. Well, the Thrill of the Chase panel have ventured out to the Meadows on what is going to be an incredible night of racing, and as per norm, we've got George Ferrugia. George, the build-up to this race has been enormous.
Unbelievable. One of the big nights of greyhound racing. First run only 2 years after the Melbourne Olympics in 1956. There's been so many great fairy tale stories for this race, and somebody gets to join that list tonight, and it's a great final.
63rd running of the Australian Cup. It all began in 1958 at the Arden Street Oval in North Melbourne, and that Australian Cup was won by Rookie Rebel. Mitch Abaya here tonight, live on track at the Meadows, mate. What's the one thing you're really looking forward to tonight?
Obviously, the Australian Cup, can't wait for that event, and to see Houdini Boy go around off box 1 where he wants to be, I think that is going to be one of the highlights of the night. And great crowd here, great night, a little bit chilly, but yeah, can't wait for the racing.
It is going to be enormous, there's no doubt about that. But we've got the Fanta Bale Superstars up pretty soon, but let's just swing our attention to the Tab Australian Cup market. And it wouldn't be a Thrill of the Chase without the 4th member of the Dream Team, as I'm calling it, Trent Langscale. Good evening to you, mate. Straight into the market for the Australian Cup.
Good evening to you, James. Fantastic to be here for the Tab Australian Cup. It promises to be a fascinating affair. And Tommy Shelby from Western Australia is currently the favourite, will be out of box 4 and is the $3.10 favourite for the Tab Australian Cup. Fernando Bluey out of box 6 has been easy today, got out to as much as $4.40. There was a bet of $3,600 at $4.40. Fernando Bluey now $4.20. Shimmer Classic out of box 3, $9 this morning, now at $5.50. And there's also been support at a price for Christo Bale out of box 8, open $18 on Sunday, and there's now a $9.50 chance.
Well, there it is, the market for the Australian Cup. Well, let's get up to the voice of the Australian Cup. It's Ronnie Hawkswell in the commentator's box. This is call number 37 in an Australian Cup for you, Ron. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, James and George and Mitch. Good evening to you. Good evening, everybody. Yes, 37 out of 38 this year. It's a long innings there, but some wonderful memories over the years. It's a great night, the Australian Cup. It's right up there amongst the great races, and it's been a real privilege to be behind the microphone for so long.
You've called a few of the great ones. Is there a favourite that you remember, and who do you think is going to win the Australian Cup and also the Superstars tonight?
Oh, well, James, the favourite cup, I suppose, is the first one that I did was 84 in Tangian at Olympic Park, but some great memories along the line, like China trip winning 2 Australian Cups, the mighty Brett Lee, who absolutely flew around the circuit to win. Then, of course, Fanta Bale, who's got a race named after her, of course, this evening, and just a marvellous performer, of course, winning the Australian Cup, and then, of course, the Superstars. So, you know, some great memories over the years, some wonderful performances. The Fanta Bale and the Stars race coming up here. Look, it is the Stars race. I'm going for Sunset Berkey, number 5. I know that she's going to get back in the field and concede them a fair start, but I think staying's the name of the game, and I think the Sunset Berkey might be pretty hard to hold. I see it's been, well, it's about $5 fixed odds at the moment, and I thought it might be hard to beat a Houdini Boy. Of course, Zach Manelli's been setting some cracking sections early, and also number 8, which is Stanley Road, has been ultra impressive, but throw up the stumps here. Sunset Berkey, what a great race it's going to be.
It's going to be enormous, no doubt about that. We'll touch base a little bit later on. Good luck calling Hawk tonight up there in the broadcast.
Fantastic, thanks, guys.
Well, that's Ronnie Hawkswell, the voice of the racing tonight. Let's get on track to our on-track reporter, Jason Bonington. I think every time we've crossed to Jason on the Thrill of the Chase, there's been no crowd, no atmosphere, but he's made it. Tonight, it is the complete opposite. There's atmosphere, there's crowd. The place is abuzz.
There's no doubt about that, boys. It is a buzz. The crowd here is magnificent. You can feel the energy. And down there, Nick Quinn, who's a man Trent Langscale mentored for many years, doing a great job with the Punters Club down in the big marquee. Here's what they're racing for. That's the Tab Australian Cup, and that's a stir-up. The lure's going past us right now. The beautiful Meadows sign down there, the boxes where they'll start from in the Australian Cup. Great atmosphere. Can't wait to get stuck in. And I was a rookie rebel a little while ago, but I'm giving tips tonight. Houdini Boy cannot get beaten in the Fanta Bale Superstars. And Christo Bale's my tip at a price in the big one, the TAB Australian Cup.
Well, I love when you go for a little bit of value, Bonners. And just quickly for those tuning in at home that don't know what the stir-up is, that is the lure doing a couple of laps. Just for the greyhounds, they sit out beside the kennel block just watching and just getting revved up for the race. So that's what the stir-up is. Let's turn our attention, though, to the super stayers. Of course, it is a Group 1 over the staying trip, and this is the market as is at the moment. We've got Houdini Boy, the favourite. He's been the drifter, though. He's out to $2.30. Do you think there's any value now with Houdini Boy?
Oh, probably not. He started odds on earlier in the week. I noticed that he's into $2.10 as we speak, so he's starting to come in a little bit now. It's a terrific race based on some early speed and then greyhounds who are back markers, Mitch, who will be getting to the line well. Whether they're close enough to run down some of these early leaders, that's the big question.
Yeah, I think that's why Houdini's around the 2:15 mark. He's already on the rail. He's where he wants to be. He'll lob on a couple of the early ones early and get to see him really do his stuff tonight.
Well, Mitch, you're pretty keen on Sunset Burbsky last week, and as we've heard tonight, the Hawk up in the broadcast is keen on Sunset Burbsky, and this is how she won her way into the race tonight from box number 5, and it was just traditional Sunset Burbsky style.
Yeah, absolutely. She's one of those greyhounds that when she's in form, she's really in form. She had a little bit of a lull there a couple of months ago, but she's come back in terrific fashion, and if she can do that again and just get a sit on them and there's a bit of a bunch up, you know she'll be finishing as good as anything.
Yeah, I think she'll need a little bit of luck in the run. She'll need a little bit of bunching up front, but there's a big chance it could happen because there's a lot of early speed and she can swoop on them late.
Well, let's get to a break. They're in the yard now, the Fanta Bale Superstars after the break. You're back at the Meadows watching the thrill of the chase, the intensity starting to build. These runners are on their way to the start now. For the first of the 2 Group 1s tonight, it is the Fanta Bale Superstars, starting with number 1, Houdini Boy. He is the market elect. He's the one the punters want.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the greyhound with the biggest X factor, isn't he, Mitch? I mean, he's been a terrific greyhound, already a Group 1 winner. As we said, he was odds on at the start of the week. He's drifted a little bit, but he's starting to come in now. He's my top pick.
Zach Manelli, he ran them along last week. Mitch, can he do the same again tonight?
I think he can. He's drawn really well, and box 3, get close to the fence early and kick away from there, and a bit of trouble behind, he may kick clear.
He's currently around 380 and 140. Lynn Smith, the caretaker trainer here in Victoria for David Hobby and the West Australians. Number 4, Here's Tears. Well, if he used to do what Here's Tears can do, he could push these.
He won the race last year. If he wins it again this year, he'll join Destiny Fireball as back-to-back wins, which is unbelievable. He's unwanted in the market at $26, but he wouldn't surprise.
Sunset Burbsky, Mitch, take it away.
Yeah, biggest motor in the race and one of the best kennels as well. Andrea Daly in fine form, and Sunset Burbsky, just a little bit of luck.
For Wally Harkins, the real star from South Australia, Sir Truculent. He's a $34 outsider. You wouldn't be surprised, though, lads, if he runs a race.
Yeah, I think he and Here's Tears are certainly over the odds. He's a greyhound that can show a little bit of speed. He has done that in Victoria.
Yeah, Pilbara's a roughie here at $51. And Stanley Road, drawn box number 8. As I said, I thought he was one of the real tough heat runs last week. He worked so hard, but he got there at the end there, Mitch.
Big run last week. I think he's pretty well drawn, and I know there's a few punters that fancy him.
Yeah, there's been a couple of market moves in the race. I know Trent Langscale, there was early money for Houdini Boy. What's the market doing right now?
Well, about half an hour ago, Houdini Boy out of box 1 was as much as $2.40 and now into $1.90. Remember, we've got the punter that had $5,000 at $4.50 earlier this month. And don't forget Stanley Road out of box 8. $10 was the opening price last Saturday night, and there was a bet of $5,000 at $10. Stanley Road now at $8.
Yeah, the punters love the staying racing. And just having a look at the venue here at the Meadows, it is just blooming at the right time. It is in wonderful condition, the Meadows. It's a big night, and the club have just prepared it to perfection.
Yeah, congrats to the track staff. It always looks a picture, and these nights are what we're here for. Stanley Road's an interesting runner, isn't he? He's out to $8 now, but I know you're keen on him.
Look, he's definitely value. I'm tipping Zach Manelli to win the race. I think he can lead, he can run them along. Your selections, guys?
I've been on him all the time, Zach Manelli, but I'm jumping off. I'm going Houdini boy. Houdini boy for mine.
Houdini boy for me with a little soft spot, Sunset Burbsky.
Yeah, well, look, I just think Zach Manelli, the way I pictured this race running, guys, is the two leading, Run Like Jess, crossing the red, Houdini boy. And if Zach Manelli can cross Run Like Jess, I just feel like Run Like Jess is going to be the cover runner for Zach Manelli that is going to make those come from behind greyhounds have to work harder to get close. And if he runs along Zach Manelli, I think he can break their hearts here tonight.
And because of that racing pattern, that's why I thought Here's Tears was definite place chance. He's out to $41 and $4.60 a place. I mean, silly odds for the reigning champ.
Sunset Burbsky, where does she need to be, Mitch, if she's a realistic chance to win tonight?
She's going to have to probably 3 off him on the home turn. I reckon she can get him late coming from behind, but she wants to move off the track early.
And of course, Mark Ruff is willing to donate 50% of the prize money to the GAP program if Houdini boy can win. It is incredible. It's so generous. Well, let's get up now to the voice of the Meadows. It's Ronnie Hawkswell for the Group 1 Fanta Bale Superstars.
Just about ready to go. Green light. Set to go. 100,000 for the winner here. They're set. Ready. Racing, Houdini boy, a fraction slow to begin away fast, Run Like Jess on the inside to lead from Zach Manelli. 3 lengths away then came Here's Tears third, going around the outside of Houdini boy, followed by Stanley Road. Sunset Burbsky back at the tail, well back as third track in company with Culver and Stanley Road. Up to go, Zach Manelli bowling on in the lead, takes them to the back straight, 5-6 clear. Run Like Jess second, 3 lengths away then came Sir Jackman third. Over on the inside there, Stanley Road 4 or 5 lengths away then came Culver. Here's Tears, Sunset Burbsky at the tail, coming up the back straight, Zach Manelli led by 4 lengths, Run Like Jess over on the outside there. Stanley Road is finishing well, followed by Sir Truculent and weaving home between there. Sunset Burbsky from well back. Stanley Road raced up, took the lead, and it's Stanley Road for the Fanta Bale second. Sir Truculent third is Sunset Burbsky, followed by Run Like Jess, Zach Manelli. Behind them then came Culver out near the tail with Here's Tears, and the time is around 42.17. Stanley Road number 8.
Well, there we have it. Stanley Road claiming the Group 1 Fanta Bale Superstars, and what a run it was. And I'm just so disappointed he didn't draw inside, because if he had 1, 2, 3, he was the best bet of the year. But he's been able to make do with box number 8.
His last month has been incredible, and now he's a Group 1 winner. It was a terrific effort. He powered to the line, and Mitch, the time, 42.17. He's going places.
Oh, this dog he's something, isn't he? And he's made his mark on Victoria, and it's pretty exciting to see where he can go.
A couple of rough results as well, with Sir Truculent winding up into to second placing. He's come from absolutely nowhere, and they had a good battle last week too, didn't they? The Truck and also Stanley Road, and similar result to last week. Stanley Road just mowing them down. He's a serious conveyance.
Absolutely, and Sunset Burbsky was coming 2 to their 1, but she just shifted off heels on that home straight and cost herself second spot. But an amazing effort by the winner, Stanley Road.
Look at that incredible view, the bird's eye view dropping down from the drone as they swing for home. And Stanley Road, well, realistically, he's just raced into a real legend status, because he's now claimed a Group 1 in Melbourne. And you get the feeling right now there's just this dominance with New South Wales greyhounds coming down to Victoria. Let's get out to Bonners with the winning connections of Stanley Road after a Group 1 success.
I am with Paul Bartolo. Now, I think probably the greatest thing you've ever done is send your son to school with me, Ray. So I think that was basically the cornerstone of the success, but what a win. That's Sydney for him.
Super win, and he come to us magnificent, and I'd like to thank Mark and Eddie for trusting me, trusting us to have the dog at our place. And what can I say? The dog's perfect today. One of the best dogs I've had, like, in the kennels. It's just fantastic. What can I say?
You are a little bit emotional here, aren't you, Paul? There's no doubt about it. I can see the tears in your eye, and you're trying to hold it back, but you're emotional.
Oh, yeah, I am. So I love the dog. He's a beautiful dog, and I'll miss him when he's gone.
I don't know what we can do. Maybe we can try and keep him here somehow. Probably not for Stanley Road, but I tell you what, coming here, he had that trial and then third up on this track. He's just gotten better and better and better.
Yeah, that's right. He's settling in a lot better. Today he was a lot calmer. Like, he's just settling in, and he'll just get better and better, this dog.
I think you are going to have one hell of a night, Paul, and I tell you what, Mark, you're talking about, of course, who entrusted you with Stanley Road. Unbelievable. You go and enjoy the night. We'll catch up with you a little bit later, and we'll get you some clinics too, because I'll tell you what, it's great to see that kind of emotion. Well done, Paul.
Yeah, thanks very much for that.
There's Paul Bartolo. Great win from Stanley Road in the Fanta Bale Superstars. The big one up next, the Tab Australian Cup.
Yeah, beautifully done, Bonners. And it is such an emotional moment. He's only caretaking the greyhound, but you can see he's already had such an impact on the kennel down here, and that was just a wonderful run.
How's that for a caretaker? A guy who's finished Quinella a Melbourne Cup all those years ago. Paul Bartolo, a terrific conditioner of a greyhound. And as they said, he's got age on his side, Mitch. This greyhound's going places for sure, and that was a terrific win.
This greyhound is definitely going places, and Paul Bartolo, one of the best blokes in the industry, and I had the pleasure to have a chat with him last Oz Cup.
Yeah, look, he's just been a wonderful trainer for a long time himself, hasn't he, Paulie? And the whole Bartolo family, they know every inch of sand here at the Meadows as well. And the one thing I like is when they race here, they nearly always go very, very well. And as you say, Fast Indian, Miss Minnie Mouse, Betty's Angel, they've trained so many superstars.
Champion.
But it's just interesting to hear how much Stanley Road has meant to them so quickly. But yeah, about $9 and $2.20 the price. Was there any market moving there, Trent, to suggest that Stanley Road was the way to go?
Well, there was the late move, but we also mentioned, and it was talked about on last Sunday's show, James, that the punter around about an hour after the box draw had been completed, and we opened the market $5,000 at $10. That punter, they believe that the odds were way over the mark, and okay, closed $8.50, but the $10 they were pretty happy. $50,000 in the skyrocket.
Yeah, well, the punters have gone hard early, and they were spot on there. Well, that was the running of the Group 1 Fanta Bale Superstars, the champion returning, and that is Stanley Road. We're going to head to a break. We're drawing closer now to the big one, the Group 1 Tab Australian Cup. Well, there he is, the champ of the Superstars. It is Stanley Road, and he romped away to a Group 1 success, and it was so very, very impressive to watch. Well done to the Bartolos, the Gatt family in New South Wales as well. Well, it's now time to turn our attention on the thrill of the chase to the Australian Cup, which isn't too far away. The Whelans of Meetung. Now, they've got Lakeview Cruiser going around in the Australian Cup, and most recently they won the Group 1 Silver Chief with Lakeview Walter. Now, recently we went behind the scenes in the kennel of the Whelans at Meetung.
We got involved in greyhounds, just Dad and I, his brothers and I had them as kids down in Traralgon.
We used to take them up to the trials with my uncle, pick us up every Sunday.
Well, it wasn't really my idea, to be honest. It was Peter and Harley went down with Pete's two brothers for them to have a look at a couple of greyhounds. And
conned Dad into letting us have one at home, and well, we didn't tell Mum until we got home.
They said, we'd bought one too. So I suppose that's where it started.
Started off as a hobby, but yeah, this is starting to become a little bit bigger than we probably expected.
We've been in Meetung for probably 21 years. We ended up buying this property, Lakeview, which is where we got the name then for the dogs.
Me and Luke get up in the morning, train the dogs and feed them up at night. We work together, obviously. Dad owns a bridge building company, so work together every day and do the dogs morning and night. And he's like my best mate, really, so yeah, it makes it pretty easy. All play our little certain roles. You just know what you got to do morning and night, 7 days a week for the whole year. So just wake up and get the job done, and hopefully the dogs prevail and win us a few races and make our time worthwhile.
Oh, Lakeview Walter. I'll never forget Luke and I walking past his kennel and Luke saying, "Oh, you big dopey bugger. I wonder if you'll ever do anything."
He's probably the kennel star at the moment.
Yeah, he's a bit of a larrikin, I suppose. He likes to spring and pounce around on the lead a little bit.
He's a bit of a funny character. He's nice. He's the most placid dog in the kennel. Luke was handling that day, and we had a few of us going down, so I sent Luke and his girlfriend down to in the van with the dog, and I wasn't really too nervous. It was all right. And then I wasn't really nervous for the whole time.
I was at the Bermagui pub, looking out across the water there. We got there a little bit earlier in the day to make sure we got a good seat in front of the TAB.
Oh, it was awfully exciting. I just kept thinking of how excited the boys must be.
After I put him in the box, got a little bit more nervous. Race come along, and we seen him get around the first corner safe, and yeah, going around the back was pretty exciting.
I think I nearly lifted the roof off the Bermagui pub.
And when he won, it's probably a little bit unrealistic, really. Kind of doesn't sink in until the next day, and to see Luke walk back with the dog and bring the trophy home, put it on the mantelpiece, we're pretty happy with it. So something we'll never forget. Oh, it means a fair bit. Harley and I sort of always dreamt to get a Group 1 and hopefully win a few more if we can.
You wouldn't have found a prouder man when they won the Silver Chief.
Family's everything. Well, it is to me, and I know it is to Peter. Well, it's extremely important with the dogs. I think it's special.
Yeah, having the whole family involved makes it easier because, like I said, there's always me and Luke go racing and trialling, and everyone makes it light work for everyone, and we can enjoy other things apart from dog racing, and the time we get to spend with the dogs is quality time.
What a beautiful story. A story of success, as it turned out, with Lakeview Walter winning the Silver Chief, and the Wielands hoping that will continue tonight with Lakeview Cruiser. And lads, do we think Lakeview Cruiser can run a sneaky race? About $8.50 they're betting at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. If things go his way on that first corner, and you're right, what a great story, Mitch, isn't it? I mean, that bond between that family will last forever. Oh,
the whole family are involved. It's fantastic, and I think the boys think that Lakeview Cruiser actually was better than Lakeview Walter earlier on in their career. So, it's a massive chance tonight.
Well, he does look a good chance, and he's drawn box number 2, which is the same alley as Lakeview Walter took out the Group 1 Silver Chief. What a short time ago, GRV's Louise Martin was filling the big shoes of Molly Haynes, and she caught up on Lou's Lounge with Roz Russell.
So I'm here with Roz Russell, and it's a story about the tale of two loves. Roz, welcome to the Australian Cup tonight. Beautiful night, you and Jimmy.
Thanks for having us.
I'd just like to know about your story, and you've got Jimmy here and we've got George at home. Just tell me your story.
Jimmy came to me nearly 7 years ago, straight off his trainer, Karen Pitt, and I fell in love with him pretty quickly. And after a few months, I realised he had a pretty cool personality. He was a pretty awesome dog. So I took him and got him trained in to be a therapy dog, and we were the first therapy dog team in Shepparton. And yeah, we used to go in and out of the nursing homes, and we've done the promos for Gap, for the tracks, and down at Melbourne Show and the expos and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a pretty unique dog. He's got a hell of a personality.
So Jimmy is the first greyhound you had?
Yes, he is. Yes.
But you grew up in Wollongong and had near a greyhound track and didn't...
No, I lived probably about 5 minutes from Bulli Dogs, and I cannot recall ever going and watching the greyhounds at all, ever.
So Jimmy got into your heart?
Very much so.
Changed your life?
He has. He's changed my life in so many ways. He's opened so many doors and presented opportunities that I guess I never would have had before.
And that opportunity turned into George?
Yes. 6 years ago I met a lady called Liz, and we struck up a bit of an instant friendship, and her and her partner Tio, they raise, they breed and they race dogs, and I spent a lot of time with them. And their dog Soul Dancer, Summer, she was in pup, and Tio asked me would I like to go shares with Liz in one of the pups, so I was pretty stoked and said yes. And Liz, it was a Sunday, I was over at their place and we were about to go somewhere, and she said I'll just go and check on Summer, and Summer was having contractions. So I was there when the first pup was born, and he was born in the back room, and they had to get Summer out to the whelping shed, so I carried this little thing that looked like a guinea pig to me out too, and I said, he looks like his half-sister George, can we call him George? And that's how George became George.
So George is his kennel name, not his racing name. So what's his racing name?
His racing name's Curl and Merlin. And,
Curl and Merlin. How on earth did you come up with Curl and Merlin?
Bit of a Merlin fan of the TV, so I just wanted something that went with Merlin, so it got Curlin.
And it was a great transition from rehoming to racing?
Yeah, it was great. I love it. And look, I think you can do both. You can happily be involved in racing and also do the retired side of it too.
Thanks, Roz, and thanks, Jimmy. You're very well behaved, and thank you very much. So we've got George, we've got Jimmy. I'm hoping we get Molly or Lou next, so thanks.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
No worries.
Well, there you go. Beautiful edition of, as it turned out to be, Lou's Lounge, and it has obviously was Molly's Lounge to start off with, and you might not believe this, but it was actually James's Lounge once on season 1 as well. But that was a long time ago. I think we can forget about that. Let's get up to the broadcast now. Ronnie Hawkswell, what did you make of that great race, the Superstars, and Stanley Road storming home to victory?
Yeah, fantastic race, James. Fantastic race, and a great finishing effort there. I thought Sunset Bursky was brave, coming from a while back to occupy the third position. But Stanley Rowe's been a model of consistency since coming down from New South Wales and thoroughly deserved that win in that feature race this evening, netting $100,000 to the connections there. So job well done.
It really was. The Australian Cup now, that's what we're focusing in on at the moment, Hawk. And how do you see this race playing out?
Well, gee, the box draw hasn't made a difference, James. Like Tommy Shelby, box number 4, look, it's a horror draw. The squeeze box, as we commonly call it, the accordion in greyhound racing. Tommy Shelby was brilliant though last week. Had box number 5. It ran such a cracking time at 29.51 and 5.05 early. But the worry, of course, is Fernando Bluey in box number 6. Fernando Bluey, he's got an abundance amount of pace early, and just it just depends the acceleration he can show to clear them. It might give those behind a little bit of a clear passage to try and to track home. But look, I'm going Tommy Shelby. He's a wonderful greyhound, of course. He's got the score on the board, and he's always there in the big races. I thought Fernando Bluey, number 6, you had to concede a big chance in the race. Tigalong Tonks, always thereabouts as well in box number 7. The Shimmer Classic in box number 3 was super last week and running 29.76. So, look, I'm going for Tommy Shelby, the People's Dog, to win the Australian Cup final and defeat Fernando Bluey. I'm going 4, 6, 7 and 3 in the big one here tonight.
Well, good luck, Hawk. Call number 37 of an Australian Cup. And as we let you go prep for the Australian Cup, do you still get a little bit nervous before the big one?
I get a big buzz, James. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure and certain. It's always there. The adrenaline's really pumping.
Well, good luck, Hawk. Hawk calling the Cup tonight, the Australian Cup. Well, speaking of that, we're going to head to a break and be back with the big one, the Group 1 Tab Australian Cup. There it is, the bright lights of the Meadows as we draw closer now to the running of the 2021 Tab Australian Cup. Let's get straight into the market now for the big one. We're about 6 minutes away and the runners are now parading. Utah Blues drawn the inside. He's had 4 starts from box 1, George, and he's yet to have lost one.
Absolutely, and hardly ever missed a place, this greyhound, but clearly this is a huge step up. But look, if there's a little bit of a scrimmage, that's where you want to be off box 1, so definite place claims, I'd say.
First Group 1 for a trainer as well, Tim Britton, at the age of 30. Lakeview Cruiser, Mitch, we spoke a bit about Lakeview Cruiser, drawn box number 2.
Same box as the brother, Lakeview Walter won the Silver Chief in, and he was really impressive last week, beat Wow, and why can't he go again?
Drawn box number 3, Shimmer Classic. We're just chatting on the ad break there that we don't believe a greyhound's won an Australian Cup at start number 10. That is what Shimmer Classic is up against tonight.
Yeah, look, history suggests that she would be up against it. On ability, I think we're going to hear a lot more about this greyhound going forward. Her turn of foot is what can make her win this race, that's for sure. 5.02 last week, James, after just beginning fairly.
The Blue Jet from West Australia, Tommy Shelby. He's the $3 favourite to claim the 2021 Australian Cup. Here's some vision of him winning last week and really just monstering his opponents, Mitch. That's what Tommy Shelby can do.
Oh, he's a freak, this dog, and he brought his A-game last week. Can he back it up this week? I hope so, because I love seeing him fly, and he got a really good run in transit last week, but will he get the same this week?
17.43 down the back was unbelievable. His dad's got the record at 17.37, and yeah, the box draws, the box rise is all important because he can be hit or miss, James, as you know.
The scary thing is, I feel, with this greyhound, as we see him rip up the Meadows home straight here in the heat last week, I just get the feeling he's getting better and better and better, and that is a scary thought in itself. Drawn box number 5, Tyler Durden. He was from box 5 last week. 5 of the 8 heat wins, Mitch, came from the yellow rug. Yeah, and it's usually the box you don't want, but geez, he was impressive last week, and he keeps making these group finals, and in a really good hands of Angela Langton and Jeff Britton, so he's got to be a big contender. Here's Fernando Bluey now, drawn box number 6. This is what he did last week. Ping to the front, he dominated. Can he do the same again tonight?
Well, we mentioned it last week, 10 starts in a row on Metropolitan tracks. He's gone between 4.97 or 5.07 to the mark, James. That's unbelievable consistency. Can he do it for one more week?
Well, he's going to have to do what he did here, Mitch. Ping to the front, run them along. He was, as we see, 69.5 kilometres through that first corner. He's got so much early burn.
Oh, his speed off the mat is incredible. I think you'll find a few lengths as well on the run home because he's obviously had a little spell previous.
Yeah, as he rips away from the field here, Japaro, who ran a good race tonight earlier, finishing second in the consolation. second here, chasing Fernando Bluey as he wheels for home in his heat. Wrapping up as they arrive at the start now, Tigalong Tonk. He's drawn box number 7. Can the Tonk finally crack that big success?
I think he can. I reckon he might get a lovely run across from Fernando Bluey, and Tigalong Tonk has been one of the most reliable beginners and race dogs for a long time now.
And Christo Bale, George, he's going to have to get the right run though, isn't he?
The 2 old war horses in 7 and 8, they have been unbelievable dogs, the both of them. Best of luck for everyone involved. The nerves would be flying right now.
Yeah, well, they're at the start. Trent, just bringing you in quickly as they're at the start now for the Australian Cup. Is there any market moves? Is Tommy Shelby still the clear favourite?
Tommy Shelby solid as the favourite here, James. Out of the box 4 at $3. There's been late support for Fernando Bluey out of the box 6 as much as $4.40 to $4. And throughout the day, Shimmer Classic out of the box 3. It was $9 this morning, now at $5.50. Hopefully this final just as memorable as 2003 when there was a dead heat between Blackjack Tom and Most Awesome.
And you were here, Trent, some 17 years ago. It's a race for the champ. So many big names. Lucan of Alkdine, a double one. Fanta Bale, Hecton Bale right back in 2018. He set the race record at 29.53. And all of these greyhounds, they're just getting ready to go here, George, and they're only moments away from their crack at becoming a legend of the sport.
Yeah, time stands still just before those lids open, doesn't it? A tremendous thrill. The honour roll of honour rolls, the Australian Cup. I mean, Brett Lee won it unbelievably well here. Who's gonna join them? Can you imagine the nerves now of all connections?
Yeah, there's 2 races as a trainer I think you really want to win. The Melbourne and Australian Cup. They're the 2 big ones here in Victoria, Mitch. And the ramifications of winning a race like this, you then automatically almost go on to be a stud dog.
Oh, definitely. And, yeah, you put your hand up to be a stud dog, and who knows where these greyhounds can go from here. This is a massive race, and on the calendar there's plenty more to target.
Well, $3 at the moment. The West Australian wonder, Tommy Shelby. He's the people's dog. If he is successful, 5% of his prize money will be going to the bushfire volunteers from WA. They are loading up now for the running of the 2021 TAB Australian Cup. Let's get upstairs to the race caller, Ron Hawkswell. Across, we've lost the Hawk, but Fernando Bluey's across to lead 2 or 3 lengths. Here's Tommy Shelby winding up, and then Utah Blues, Lakeview Cruiser. Well back Shimmer Classic, Tigalong Tonk's a mile back, as is Christo Bale and Tyler Durden off the back. It's a race in 2, Fernando Bluey led. Up goes Tommy Shelby. It's Tommy Shelby's Australian Cup. He rolled up, hit the lead. Fernando Bluey kicks. Tommy Shelby's won it. Tommy Shelby a nose, Fernando Bluey. What an amazing edition of the Australian Cup. And as a race caller, I jumped off the bench there, lads. Take it away.
Unbelievable.
Great work, James. That was fantastic.
How gutsy was Fernando Bluey to kick back as well. And I think Tommy's
got it. Oh,
yeah,
he'll get it, I think. What do you reckon, Mitch?
Yeah, I think Tommy's just got there. And a dead set gutsy.
Wow,
Jeez, Fernando Bluey set the tone, and goodness me, what a race that was.
Well, look at that. Across from the outside went the green. 4, Tommy Shelby slips around to second placing and he runs him down, but Fernando Bluey, oh so tough, almost as tough as me getting the call up to call the race at the very last minute.
Oh, look, I tell you what, he was so brave, wasn't he? But Tommy Shelby was just that touch too close, and well done to the people's dog. You know what, he's been usurped in earlier races by some real champions. It just seemed like his time, didn't it? And he got the job done.
What an amazing effort. Lakeview Cruiser storming home for 3rd, and Christo Bale's jumped out of the ground as we see him just ducking and weaving at the back of that vision from the drone. But look at this for a fight up the home straight. Tommy Shelby hits the lead. Fernando Bluey kicks. They draw to the post, nothing between them, but there was a margin. There was something.
Whiskey Riot. Melbourne Cup win, that.
Some great vision.
Head bobber, wasn't it?
Look at this.
Fantastic.
2 sons of Fernando Bale, both blue, getting the job done right on the line.
I tell you, you have to feel for those on the inside. Fernando Bluey.
Without a doubt.
What an amazing finish. Jason Bonington, he's catching up with Steve Withers, the champion trainer of the winner of the Australian Cup, Tommy Shelby.
Thanks very much, guys. He doesn't give away much, Steve Withers, but one hand with a fist just raised in the air and a couple of pumps when you knew you'd won the TAB Australian Cup. Well done, Steve.
Well, I got very tight. The 6 was going super, and we were in a lot of trouble there early, but He's a jet of a dog. Look, he chases his heart out. He makes awesome decisions. He's, yeah, we love him to bits, yeah.
Do you want to go and see Peter Duncan, the chairwoman of Greyhound Racing Victoria? She wants a kiss.
That is Tommy's best one right there, yeah. Look, we just love the support of this dog, and he deserves it. He's a superstar. He's a superstar dog, and we love him.
Just an unbelievable feeling, mate. You must be boiling inside, because even in the run, you probably thought you'd won it, but like you say, Fernando Bluey kicked back, and you even wanted to see the replay a couple of times to make sure you'd won.
Well, your first instinct's good, but I'm a little bit biased. Yeah, I was had to go back and double check and make sure that the head bob did lob the right way. So, yeah, it's look, I'm very proud of the dog. He's been everywhere. He's an awesome temperament. He's a pet at home, and then he comes to the race dog and he turns it on. And he's been in every big race, and he can't draw a box, but to get through the traffic there tonight and do that, it's I'm very proud of him. Yeah,
it's your win, but he's called the people's dog for a reason. It's the people's win. You can tell the celebration here. It's not just about you. It's about everyone who loves Tommy Shelby.
Yeah, we love to share it too, and the more the merrier. So get aboard. It's not too late to join in now.
Good on you, mate. Go and receive that big, heavy trophy.
Thanks, guys. I've got someone to help me lift it.
Well, there he is, Tommy Shelby, Stephen Withers. What an incredible win. He's having a well-deserved drink after claiming the running of the Australian Cup. 280 and 180. The favourite winning the Australian Cup from Fernando Bluey at $1.80, $2.30 about Lakeview Cruiser. And he's been on the road for so long, Tommy Shelby. He claimed his first Group 1 in Hobart, but to now come back to Victoria and win the Group 1 Australian Cup, he is becoming a megastar of this game.
He doesn't remember the last time he slept in his kennel, Tommy Shelby.
Nor does Steve Withers.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this effort even better. I mean, to go to Queensland, he was good there, got beaten by Shimmer Shine in a Group 1 final, then he comes down here and gets the job done. All kudos to the winners and connections.
Yeah, he's got a huge fan base, and geez, he just got there in the nick of time. But hasn't he travelled Hobart up to Brisbane, down here, and brought his A game down for the Australian Cup?
And he's, as I said, he's almost been getting better and better. But I have to say, the runners-up was huge. Fernando Bluey, he was a beaten force on the corner. Tommy cruised up to him, had him cold, but Fernando Bluey's got a will to win like no other.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great run. He sort of really had to work hard to cross on that first corner, didn't he? There was a little bit of a scrimmage behind James, as you mentioned, and off he went. Fernando Bale siring 1, 2 and 3 in the Australian Cup.
Have a look at this. Look who's here. Willie Pike, the wizard from WA, came across to get up close and personal with Tommy Shelby. 2, in fact, if we include Steve Withers, 3 absolute superstars from WA. This will make a great photo, no doubt about that. But what a greyhound he is. Prize money now up to $748,000. He's won 27 of 41. He's by Fernando Bale. He's announcing himself to be a future superstar stud dog, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Steve made a really good point about his chasing prowess. I mean, I seen it in the $1 Million Chase. I thought his heat run was unbelievable. He really had to push hard, Mitch, to get it done, and he's shown it again tonight.
He's a wonderful greyhound. All of the fallout from that Australian Cup and a very, very big announcement. Don't go anywhere. More Thrill of the Chase on track after the break. You're back with the Thrill of the Chase on Australian Cup night, and there we go. Tommy Shelby, Stephen Withers, and Stephen just going up there to Peter Duncan, #1 fan of Tommy Shelby, and we've been lucky enough to be joined now by CEO of the club, the manager man here at the Meadows, and also Peter Duncan. Peter, how good was that? Tommy Shelby, you're the #1 fan, and what a win, but what a close win as well.
Oh my God, I've got the hat on. It was unbelievable. I'm sitting with William Pike tonight, with Steve Withers, with Michael Harders. Kira, I love you. I'm so emotional. They've had a journey, this family. Like, he's been away so long travelling with this dog, and this is the best thing to happen. And I reckon it's the video we did for you today, like front on vision, giving you slow-mo of Tommy, and this is just sensational. I'm overwhelmed. It's beautiful.
It was such a fitting result, though, to see Tommy Shelby loom up on the outside and potentially a rising star in Fernando Bluey really kick in, Ash. And a credit to you and the club here at the Meadows. It's been a wonderful night of racing, and the venue just looks absolutely superb.
Absolutely. Thanks, James. I mean, they're the races we dream on as administrators, finishes like that, good, clean racing, and the up-and-comer versus the dog, that is a bit of a fairy tale story. So, look, it's been a difficult 12 months with COVID, but we've got through the Australian Cup Carnival and sort of onwards and upwards.
Well, this is what greyhound racing is all about. Stories in greyhound racing, and there's no better story than that Tommy Shelby running down Fernando Bluey right on the line. But there's a massive news story breaking right now, Peter, and you can release it right now here live on track after the running of the Australian Cup.
Yeah, I need to get my act together right now because, you know, that was just amazing. But what I'm really pleased to announce tonight is that for the first time in the history of greyhound racing in Australia, the Meadows on December the 18th are going to have what's the first ever slot race, which is like the Everest for horses, but it's going to be the first ever in greyhound racing. And can I do the prize money?
Sure can.
The first prize is $750,000. So Ash can talk a bit more about the process, but I'm really happy that the Meadows have, you know, basically put this race on and worked with GRV, and we're very excited about this because it's the first ever in Australia.
Did I hear correctly? Over $700,000?
$750,000 to first place.
Ash, tell me more. Tell me more, mate. What is this Phoenix?
Oh, this is huge news, James. This is it's a game changer for our industry, and I'm just so proud to be a part of the club and be able to work with Peter and her executive to be able to get this over the line. It's something that we've been talking about a little while since I started here almost 2 years ago. Obviously, the Everest is a tried and tested model that the thoroughbreds do well in New South Wales. It continues to gather momentum every year, and a race like this, 8 slots, $75,000 per slot. The winner will take home $750,000, and there'll be prize money all the way down to 8, so over $1.145 million in prize money.
And I must say, this was kept very, very quiet. I had next to no details, so I'm learning this as we go. $1.1 million in stakes prize money for that race, Peter. That is extraordinary. And you, as the chair, have always said you're really big on getting prize money back to the participants, and this is a prime example.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, we kept it really tight, Ash, in a big vault. A little vault really, and we said if anyone leaks it they'll be dead to us, but so we've kept it tight and we're announcing it tonight on Thrill of the Chase, and I just hope, you know, it's open to everyone across Australia to buy a slot, and Ash will talk about the details of how that will work. And December 18th is race night where you can actually win that $750,000, and we always are just trying to innovate, and the Meadows came to me and GRV and said, what do you think? And bring it on, I say, and off we go. And I think you're mad if you don't try to buy a slot.
Well, exactly. Well, how do you buy a slot, Ash?
Yeah, look, there'll be more information to follow after tonight. We're still working through some of those finer details. There'll be an application process, and then there'll be a vetting process to determine who are the 8 slot holders in the race. We'll look to do a launch around the middle of the year. Slots will come up for sale sort of early in the spring, and then obviously we'll build up towards the feature race on the 18th of December.
It's so important, though, this innovation, isn't it? Moving greyhound 100%. Racing forward, and we've seen so many along the journey, the launching pad, but now to have a race like this, the Phoenix, as it's going to be called here at the Meadows, $750,000 to the winner. It's another step in the right direction for greyhound racing in Victoria, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and we've just launched our Vic Bred series, the Pink Diamond, which gives back to all the breeders that breed and race in Victoria, and so we're really proud of that, and this is just another level that we're going to, and we won't stop. We just keep innovating and going to the next level as much as we possibly can, and I just thank all our trainers and participants as well for what they did through COVID. It was really tough for us here in Victoria. But West is best tonight, and I'm so happy about that for Kira and Steve. You know, as I said, they've done the hard yards with him being away, travelling with the dog, but we're just trying to put another race program on that anyone in Australia can contend for down in our state. So come one, come all, buy a slot, and off we go, and let's see how we go.
We just continue to raise the bar when it comes to greyhound racing here in Victoria. There's no doubt about that. Well, congratulations, guys, on firstly an incredible night of racing tonight here at the Meadows, and also the massive news that we've now got another big race to look forward to, the Phoenix.
Yeah, 100%, James, and I just want to say one thing, and that's to Trent Landskill, who's leaving TAB as of tonight. He's done the markets for us for the last time tonight, and he has been an absolute star for our sport. Always went overs, and you know, we love you, Trent, and we wish you all the very best for your future, and we know you're going to shine, and he's just been amazing. So thank you, Trent, and all the very best.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Ash, and congratulations to you, mate, on preparing, as I said earlier, such a wonderful night of racing tonight.
Thanks very much for having me, James. And I think just before we go, I believe it's someone's birthday on Monday, so I've been told to make sure that on live television we wish Peter a happy birthday for Monday. So from everyone here at the Meadows, and I'm sure GRV, happy birthday for Monday, Peter.
Thank you very much, and Team Tommy, and we're off to the casino now, so come join us, everyone.
Well, there you go. Congratulations. Well, it's been a huge day, the Australian Cup, and now the soon-to-be Phoenix. We'll be back with more on the thrill of the chase after this short break. The massive night of racing out at the Meadows for the Australian Cup continues here, and what a memorable night of racing it has been thus far. The two features, Stanley Road claiming the Superstars, and then it was Tommy Shelby to just get there and claim the Group 1 Australian Cup in the last hop from a gallant Fernando Bluey. Back with Mitch Bayer and George Ferrugia, and just before the break, guys, we had Peter Duncan and Ash Baker on chatting about this new race, the Phoenix. I'm sure you would have tuned into that. $1.1 million in prize money up for grabs and a $75,000 buy-in type of race. How exciting is that?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I like the name. I think it'll take off, the Phoenix. I really like it. Now, obviously, there's going to be some people who won't be able to afford the $75,000 to get in, but they'll create a partnership with somebody who can. And there's enough prize money to go around.
And I know who can.
Who's that?
Mr. George Ferrugia.
No,
he's putting his hand up already.
Not me. But so that it's going to be open for a lot of people. I think it's going to bring a lot of different people to the sport who are going to want to say into a big race like that. So it's really great. $750 to the winner, and you get paid all the way down to last place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very, very exciting.
And Mitch, effectively $20,000, I think it is, for last. So the buy-in, you're almost guaranteed to get something back.
Yeah, you are, and what a great concept. It's going to be a great series. Well, not series, it's going to be a great race. And, yeah, it's a great concept. It's new ideas like this is what makes the sport so good.
And just imagine the lead-up, James.
Yeah,
just imagine the lead-up, saying that, this guy is hooked up with this dog heading into this fight. I mean, it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be huge. There's no two ways about that. Well, speaking of huge, we go to the Horsham Cup next Saturday. Here is the box draw for that. Jax Bale in 1. You've got Jim Zadashi in 2. But you get the feeling that all focus is going to be on number 7, and that is Shimmer Shine. Trent Langscale's got a little bit of the market there thanks to tab.com.au, and after breaking the record, Shimmer Shine clearly the way to go.
That will be right there, James. The box draw took place last night, and be fair to say that Shimmer Shine out of the box 7 is the main one there, currently at $1.50 for the Horsham Cup, which will be next Saturday night, and will be dominant there. And fantastic effort. We talked about on the show last Sunday, the punter that had $5,000 at $10 on Stanley Road to win the Fanta Bale Superstars. Well, we also mentioned on Sunday that there was a punter in early February, $500 at $14 on Tommy Shelby. They're pretty happy that Tommy Shelby just got the win over Fernando Bluey in the Tab Australian Cup.
Beautifully done. And as always, Trent, we thank you for coming on the show, mate. And of course, this is your last gig for tab.com.au. And I must say, it must be a real loss to the company as well to lose someone like you, because I know working alongside you for the years that you've always gone above and beyond what you had to do and what the contract said. So it's a real credit to you as a worker, and we've loved working with you over the years.
It's been great, James. Thank you to you, and also to Peter for her comments just before the break. It's been quite overwhelming, actually, the last 36 hours, particularly on RSN 927 here in Melbourne. Don't want to be a stranger to greyhounds in particular, and just looking forward to, hopefully, the next chapter.
Well, a huge thanks to you, Trent, and George. Thanks to you for coming on tonight, mate. Wonderful night.
Loved it. Thanks, mate.
And Mitchy, you enjoyed it?
Loved it, mate. Absolutely loved it. The racing was superb.
Well, here are the thank yous. We have to thank Lou Martin, Jason Bonington, of course, Molly Haynes at home, Lucy Brennan, Andrew Copley, and all of the team at GRV, and all the team too behind the scenes that made this work tonight. Well, that is the Australian Cup. It's been a wonderful time. We'll see you next time on The Thrill of the Chase.